Hi guys, so let's make the Korean glossy buttercream today. All we need is 3 ingredients. So we have 150 grams of egg whites, 200 grams of granulated sugar, and 450 grams of cold butter. The butter needs to be cold enough that it makes a dent on it when you press. It needs to be cold, but not like frozen solid cold, because that could damage your mixer. So what we have to do now is add the sugar into the egg whites, and we're going to use the Swiss meringue method to melt the sugar and eggs together. The original Korean buttercream recipe is made with the Italian meringue method, but I just don't like dealing with hot sugar syrup. So I use the Swiss meringue method, and it works the same. The result is exactly the same. So it's up to you. If you want to use the Italian meringue method, you can use that, or you can just do the Swiss meringue method that I use. So let's make a double boiler and melt the eggs and sugar together. So here I am using the double boiler method to melt the eggs and sugar together. Since my mixer bowl is metal, I just like to do it in the bowl itself so that it makes it easier to clean up. But if your mixer bowl is not metal, then you need to use a metal bowl to do this step. So you're going to make sure that you don't cook your eggs, because if the water level at the bottom touches the bowl, it tends to cook the egg whites. So you just need to make sure that you don't cook the egg whites. Keep mixing till you know that the granulated sugar has been completely incorporated into the egg whites. So keep stirring, so that if you don't keep stirring, what happens is the egg whites that are at the bottom of the bowl tends to get cooked faster, and then you'll have like little pieces of scrambled eggs in there. You don't want that. So you just keep stirring until you can check the mixture between your fingers to see if the granulated sugar has been completely melted. So at this point it's almost done. To check, you can take some in your fingers and check if you can feel any granulated sugar in there. If you don't, then it's done. Once the granulated sugar is completely melted, you need to move this back into the mixer and use the whisk attachment and whip it at high until the mixture comes back to room temperature, because right now this is kind of warm, so it needs to come back to room temperature. So you will whisk this until it comes back to room temperature and the meringue is nice and thick. We'll whisk this egg mixture till it comes back to room temperature. By then the meringue will be really nice and stiff. So let's do that. Let's whip it and I'll come back to you. So we've been whipping for about 5 minutes now. What you need to do is you need to touch the bottom of your bowl and check if your meringue is still warm. If it is still warm, keep whipping till it comes back to room temperature. And if it's at room temperature, you need to wrap this up in saran wrap and put it in the fridge till it becomes cold, because we need our meringue really cold before we can add the butter into it. So right now my bowl is still a little bit warm, so I'm going to whip it for some more time, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes more, and then pop it into the fridge. Okay, so now my meringue is at room temperature, so I'm going to remove the whisk. You can see how stiff the meringue is. It's really nice and stiff. So now I can remove the whisk. I'm going to put the whisk back in there. So now I've saran wrapped it and I'm going to put it in the fridge for like 15 to 20. Okay, so I actually put it in the freezer for like 10 minutes because I was really impatient. So now I'll remove the saran wrap, and this tip is going to actually save you a lot of money. For the next step, don't use your whisk, because in 2018 I went to a class by G.G Cake and this is her recipe. She used the Italian method and I'm just using the Swiss meringue method. She suggested that we add the cold butter in this next step using the whisk attachment. I did this for a couple of years, and I had to replace my whisk about 3 to 4 times. So don't do that. What you need to do is keep your whisk aside. You don't need to wash this, keep it aside. You'll be using this once your butter is, not as destructive. So use your paddle attachment. Oops, sorry. Okay, so you use your paddle attachment, and while you paddle it or whisk it, while you do that, while you're mixing this, you start adding your blocks of butter in one by one. And what this does is, the butter is really cold and your meringue and butter will mix together and the water from the butter will start to separate, and this is totally fine. So once your butter is broken into slightly smaller pieces inside, you can move back to the whisk attachment and continue mixing. But for now, use your paddle attachment. Don't do the same thing that I did. Use your paddle attachment because it's really expensive when you have to replace your whisk each time. So I'll start mixing on low and I'll start adding my butter in one at a time. And at this point, if you want to add, you can add your extract in. But for this recipe, I don't usually use an extract because I'd like to keep the color pure. So I'll start mixing now. So here I have my butter, and you don't want your butter to be really small, a decent sized piece. Okay, so now the butter is not as big, so you're safe enough to, move to the whisk attachment. So let me remove the paddle attachment. Okay, and then I'll go back in with my whisk, and I just like to scrape the sides of the bowl. You'll need to keep scraping the sides of the bowl throughout this next step because water tends to separate and you need to get it all back together. So let's start whisking again. Okay, so when you do any egg whites based buttercream, any meringue based buttercreams, what happens is you come to a stage that makes the butter look like it's curdled, but it's totally normal. This happens to all egg white based buttercreams. So you just need to keep mixing. It's going to get worse from here. All the water is going to separate and it's going to look really, really weird and gross, kind of like ricotta cheese. But it's totally normal. Just keep mixing. Okay, so the water is starting to separate. At this point, I'd like to just scrape my bowl again so that I can get all the meringue in. There is still meringue on the side, so let me just get that all in. You can see the water. I don't know if you can really see it. Can you see the water there at the bottom? So this is gonna get worse. Actually, it's gonna kind of look like buttermilk and butter. The stage where you overbeat your heavy cream and it becomes butter. It's gonna kind of look like that. But just keep mixing and it'll all come back together, I swear. You're gonna keep an eye out for the visual cues. Right now you see how the butter is rotating in the bowl because there's water on the side of the bowl. That's why your butter seems to be rotating around. You'll know the water has been incorporated into the buttercream when your butter starts to stick to the side of the bowl. So you need to keep an eye out for that, because if you over whip at this stage, you'll get regular Swiss meringue buttercream. You don't want to over whip. You just need the water to get back into the butter, and that's it. It becomes a very waxy sort of texture, and that is the Korean buttercream. So let's keep whisking until you get to that stage where it's not over whipped, just enough so that it looks glossy and waxy. I just want to show you how it looks with the water on the side. Can you see my spatula has water on it? You're almost there, you just need this water to disappear. You can see the water when I do this. You can see water on top of the buttercream. Keep whisking. Okay, now I can actually see the water has reduced a lot and the butter has started to stick to the side of the bowls. So just keep watching. You'll know when to stop because you'll actually see the butter has, become dry. So just keep whisking till you get to that stage where there's no more water left. Gonna check and see if we are done yet. Okay, see if you can see there is still some small amounts of water left at the bottom. So I think 1 more minute and we should be done. So let's whisk it for 1 more minute. Let's check again. Okay, I'm happy with that because when I swipe the buttercream like this, I don't get any water on my spatula. So this is what we need. If you keep whisking this mixture, you will get the regular fluffy sort of Swiss meringue buttercream, but we don't want to go there because right now this is the texture we need for the Korean glossy buttercream, and this is the same stage at which we'll start to pipe the flowers. So as you see, this butter is like, I don't know if you can see, let me just adjust my lights. Okay, if you look at this, it's like really waxy. The texture is really waxy, and you know, it has no air bubbles. Literally, it has zero air bubbles, and the taste is like sweet butter. Yeah, that's what it tastes like. It tastes like sweet butter. So now that our glossy buttercream is ready, I'm going to show you how to color it and use it to pipe flowers. Okay guys, so here we have some of the buttercream that we just made. So I'm gonna color that right now. Before you do, right after you make the buttercream, it's going to be really stiff. So what you need to do is just mix it up a bit, loosen it up, so that it's easier for you to pipe your flowers using it. At this point you can add some of your color. So usually I go with the pink color scheme because I think it really looks pretty. So make sure you add gel food coloring. And one more thing about the Korean buttercream is that it takes very little color to get it really bright and dark. So compared to traditional buttercreams, you need to use very less color. Okay, I like to use the colors like this. It's kind of marbled, and that's fine. When you pipe, flower looks more natural. So what you need now is, let me just put this aside. What you need now is to use a piping bag. I cut the tip of the piping bag, and here I'm using the tip by G.G Cake. Back when I attended her class in 2018, she was selling this tip, and I believe she has a website. If I find the link, I'll link it down in the description. So you can find this tip on her website and order it. It gives really nice and natural petals because unlike the Wilton tips, these are really narrow. I don't know if you can see them. It's really narrow, and so it makes the petals look really thin and natural. So let's put the tip into the piping bag. Okay, I have it in there, and then open up your piping bag and fill in your buttercream. At this point, you need to make sure that you don't add too much buttercream in your piping bag. The more cream that there is, the less control you'll have over how to pipe your petals, and the more strength you'll need to use to get the cream out. So once you have the cream in like this, what I like to do is, let me zoom out a bit. Excuse me. Okay. So what I like to do is, I like to put it in the bag and then just twist it a bit. It sort of loosens the buttercream as well as removes any air pockets inside. so I like to do that. And once I feel like it's, you know, nice and smooth, I'm gonna push it down, push the cream down till it reaches the tip. Okay, now you can see how, can you see that? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to show it to you. Okay, you can see how can you see how thin the petals are? That's how thin the petals are. Alright. So now let me, okay, now that we have our piping bag filled, I'll tell you what we need in terms of tools. So what I like to use is I have an acrylic board. You can use any sort of surface where you would like to place your flowers once they are piped. So I have this acrylic board. You need a flower nail. You need a flower nail to pipe your flowers on top, and you need a flower lifter. It's called a flower lifter, where you will pipe and then you can lift your flowers off from. For this buttercream, you don't use parchment paper or wax paper on your flower nail because it's very easy to pick up the cream and place it on top of the acrylic board. So you need a flower nail and you need a flower lifter, and you can find these easily on Amazon or eBay. So you will need to order the G.G tip, the flower nail, the flower lifter. Oops. If you don't have the G.G tip, you can use the Wilton tip. Just make sure you use a plier and, you know, narrow the opening of the petal tip so that you get more natural looking flowers. So let me make a quick flower and show you how I do it, and I'll explain the steps later. So let me just pipe one for you. There's no right way or wrong way of doing this, so you learn as you go. So I like to build my flower up so that it has more dimension once it's piped on top. The way you hold your piping bag is really important. You need to hold it this way, and you're gonna wrap the end of the piping bag around your finger like this so that you get constant pressure and you don't have to press as much. So now I'm gonna build the center. So you're gonna go like that. You're gonna go up and down. So you're gonna do that again, up and down. So I have 2 petals there. So now I'm gonna make another petal in a way that the joint here comes to the center of the second petal. So up and down, up and down. So I have two layers now. So I'm going to make the third layer now the same way. 2 petals, up and down, up and down. That's my third petal. Now for the fourth petal, the same, up, down, up, down. So once I have my 4 petals in, I'd like to add 3 petals at a time now. So in between, if you have build-up on your tip, just wipe it away. Now I like to do 1, 2, 3. So 1, I don't lift off, 2, 3. Alright, so I'll do the same thing again, 1, 2, 3. I don't lift my tip off, I just continue as, like, you know, a continuous M shape. So 1, 2, 3. Again, for the last petal I add 5. So if this is going to be my last petal, I'll make it a 5. If this is not going to be my last petal, I'll make it a 3 again. So this is going to be my last petal, so the last layer, so I'm going to add 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. You see how when I reach the end I tend to flare my tip outwards so that I get a more open sort of petal. So this is the first one. So how do I lift it off now? You can see it here, and this cream is really stable, so it doesn't fall off or anything. So now I use this flower lifter, I push it in and I swipe it off. Yeah, I swipe it off, then I take my acrylic board and I place it on top. Simple. I swipe it off, I place it there. So once I make all my flowers on here, I could use the flowers the same day to place it on a cake, or I could just leave it at room temperature. I don't like putting it in the fridge because it tends to get condensation on top once I take it out of the fridge, so I just leave it at room temperature. An AC room is fine, and then I place it on the cake the next day if I don't do it the same day. So let's make the flower again and see how that goes. Remember how to hold the piping bag. The tip comes on top. The tip comes on top, and you fold this all the way around your finger. I'm putting it at this angle. Can you see it? At this angle, and then I squeeze so that I get a little hill in the middle. You see that? Now I build the hill again like that. I'm gonna build it once more like that. Okay, now for the first 2 petals, 1, 2, again 2 more, 1, 2, again 2 more, 1, 2, again 2 more, 1, 2. Now moving on to 3 petals, 1, 2, 3, again 3, 1, 2, 3. Now I like to make 5. So 1, flare out, 3, 4, 5, and that's another one. So again, put your flower lifter in and swipe it off. That's it. So you can use this method. Right now I have, once my cream is over, I'm gonna add more of the buttercream that I prepared, and I'm gonna adjust the colors. Like I'm gonna do it lighter or darker, and I'll have lots of different shades to go on here, and when I arrange it on the cake, I'll try to mix and match the arrangement. So this part is pretty much the same. You just have to mix the colors and pipe. And if you want bud, I'll just show you how I make one of my buds. So remember how to hold the piping bag. You have to wrap it around one of your fingers, clean off the nozzle. Again, now I'm going to make a bud, so use the same technique to build the center. Again, this is good enough. Alright, now I'm going to go with 1, 2, again 1, 2, again 1, 2. Now I'm going to go with 3, 1, 2, 3. This would work as a bud, or you could add one more, 1, 2 and 3, and put it in, swipe it off, and there's your bud. I'll show you a close-up of that. Can you see that? And if they look glossy yet or not. When this buttercream is cold, it won't look as glossy, but once you arrange it on the cake and it comes back to room temperature, it looks really glossy. So right now that's how it looks. just to show you how stable it is. I can just put my lifter under it and just pick it up, and it's not frozen, it's not even frozen, it's still soft, but I can lift it up with no problems. See that? So we're going to use the same technique to make all the flowers. I'm just gonna pipe them and you can watch me pipe them. So here I've added some more buttercream and I'm gonna make it a darker shade of pink. So I'll add 1, 2, 3. 3 drops of pink should be enough. They keep my spoon. It's right here. Okay. So I'll mix. See that? Okay. So now I'll fill my piping bag. If you have remaining cream in your piping bag, and if you notice where I've held it, it has sort of melted because of the warmth of my hand. What I usually do is I put this into another bowl and I put it in the fridge for like 5 or 10 minutes and it warms right back up. This only happens in the place where I've held it in my arms because my hands tend to be really warm. So I put it into another bowl and I chill it for like 5 to 10 minutes and it's good to go for a second round. Okay, so I've filled another piping bag with a different shade. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm gonna just mix it up with my hands like this, and then I'm gonna push it down. When you use Korean buttercream, try to use a thicker piping bag because the thinner ones tend to burst open because the buttercream is really stiff, so you don't want that to happen. So make sure you use a thick piping bag. So now let's pipe some more flowers. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to empty out this. Okay, so now my piping bag has some remnants of pink in it, and what I like to do is I'll add some regular buttercream that's not colored into this piping bag, and it sort of gives a very nice shaded effect. It almost looks really natural. You're gonna hold your piping bag the way I told you. Yeah, the smaller tip always on top, the thinner one is always on top, the thicker one is at the bottom. Alright, so see what happens right now. Let me just focus this. Okay, alright. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. You see the color that's coming out? Beautiful. If you feel like your flour is not stable at the bottom, you can always add some extra cream just at the bottom to make it stable, just at the bottom. I usually don't need it, but if you do, go ahead and do that. Do you see the color of that flour? So beautiful. Wrap it around your finger and let's pipe again. So this one's more white because all the traces of pink was gone within the previous color. Don't worry about the number of petals and all that. Once you get used to the medium, you're going to figure out your own style. This was not what was taught to us at the class. We learnt a few different kinds of flowers, but as I started making them, it just sort of, you know, took a shape of its own. So you're going to figure it out. Just get used to the medium first. And eventually come to it. It's not exactly white because we don't really get white butter in the Middle East. The butter that we get is slightly yellow tinted. As far as I know, the white butter is only available in Korea, and because of that, it's really difficult to get white roses when we use the tinted butter. You can use a little bit of violet to neutralize the yellow, but I don't know, I just prefer this when it comes to pink, you know, the sort of off-white shade looks kind of nice. So I'll make a few buds and then we'll move to the darkest shade. This looks really yellow in the video, but it's not as yellow in real.
A few moments later.
So we have a few flowers here, so in the next video I'll show you how I arrange these onto a cake. Alright, so pretty. See?